Hello everyone, my name is Adar and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. So in the last few days I've upgraded a lot of things. Most importantly, I added a few mods now. I wanted to have a little bit more realism, so I added Remote Tech 2, which it adds all kind of communication stuff, antennas, satellite dishes, stuff like that. Basically, any unmanned probe has to have a link up with mission control. To do that, you have to have satellites in orbit or radar dishes around the planet or just some way to get a signal back. Each of the antennas has a certain range. As you start out, it's a low range, and then they get further and further until the last one is like the whole solar system. I also added, um, what is it called? Distance object enhancement. Basically, the night sky will be black if you're looking at a planet or the sun, and you'll be able to see the planets a lot easier. I also added Infernal Robotics, which adds hinges, moving parts and stuff. And another one I added is a science alert. Basically, if you go in an area, it alerts you if you haven't done any science. Which I made a little rover, drove around the entire Space Center, and got every single science I could. So let me just go over a couple of things before I show you what I'm fixing to do. I've went down into some trees, got some stuff. This one right here was just the grabber arm. But now with Infernal Robotics, I get a rail, two types of hinges, a piston or a hydraulic cylinder, and a little rotating thing. Later on, you can get different ones. Like there's some. This thing rotates. Another one is free rotating. Some hinges, a telescopic piston, those are really nice. Some more beams. And it would just usually be like the inline clamp and these. Also, like down here, you got the new dishes, which it would usually just be like this battery pack and that. So now you actually have stuff to work towards. It's a little bit better. But I got this one for the rover wheels, which you saw in my last update. So what I need to do is I need to put an antenna somewhere. This is my little network. I have 5 satellites, which it's a horrible attempt to get this at the very beginning. I'm going to have to redo all this into a higher orbit. That way I can position them better. But for right now, these 5 are doing okay. As you can see, like, here's mission control is the red. Or maybe that's the antenna. But the red's mission control. It's linking up with this satellite, going to this satellite, and back. Or going around. Basically, they're all linking up. Just let me turn that off. And now you can see how they're connecting. This is just antennas alone. And this is just the dishes. And this is antenna and dish. And that's just the cone of where they're pointing. Which, let me go to one of these. What I want to do is take and help me. I want to put some all over the planet. Just to be sure. Okay, this one I actually got up here with a lot of fuel. I didn't have to use this. So this one has, as you can see, there's the hinges or the stuff with the Infernal Robotics, which I can do. I can raise and lower it, which that's how I got it up here so easily. I just folded these down all the way against the body. I just folded them down and used a nose cone or what is that called? A little fairing, and went over the whole thing to keep it from um, uh, burning up and all. But that's kind of cool. And these you have to position. Like, it's pointed at mission control. I could tell it to point towards anything on Moho, on Eve, anything in Kerbin, you know, anywhere. Let's see if we can actually see. See how you can see the stars back here? But if we turn around, now you can't. All you can see is bright dots. Which, that one looks green, so I'm saying that's going to be Jewel. Yep. Okay, there was one right here. There's Minmus. Or Minmus. I can't say it right. Okay, that one's purple, so that's Eve. Yep. And that one's reddish. Maybe Duna? Yeah. That one's brownish gray. Moho? Yeah. See if we can see any others. Nope. But you can also see the satellite dishes and stuff that you have if you're within the range of them. Which, oh look, there's Drez. You can barely see the little flare of it. So yeah, that's the basic satellites that I've been putting in orbit. So let's go back to the Space Center. Let's figure out where I want to put one of these antenna. Which I have an antenna on top of the mountain. That was for my first attempt. Whenever I'm launching stuff, I needed a little higher antenna. So it's up there on the mountainside. What is over there? Okay, that is not right. That should be like down here. So, oh, I don't think I posted it. But no, not this. What am I looking at here? I need to look at this. I went to the South Pole and bad things happened. Yeah, there it is. So I came all the way down to the South Pole, and let me just planet or moon. The four textures come together. Yeah, as you can see, there's stuff happened. I'll tell you in a minute. The four textures come together right here. As you can see, right here and here. That is the exact South Pole. Well, my rover plane that I have, I was driving up here, and as soon as my wheel crossed the line, I fell down into the void. So it exploded everything. Which on the way up here, I've been collecting like tons of science and all. Thankfully, it stayed on the main body and I was able to recover it. So, just word of warning. Be careful if you're going over the textures right here. But, yep, I visited the South Pole. I would like to put a antenna here, or on the North Pole. That way it could catch any satellites that are, if I do it like a polar orbit, that would work. Or a higher range. But what we're going to do today is take one of my antenna that I just made, and we're going to take it to, I think just east of here, island. It's like a big peninsula. So let's load up. I made a glider, and then I took the glider, modified it to carry a payload. Okay. Basically what I did is I removed some science parts, and this is my version 2 of my glider. I have wings in the back now that help this stay on and keep this lifted. Oh, I need to rearrange this. Let's see, these need to fire at the same time that goes off. Okay, let's get this thing going. I've been talking too much. Let's get this thing going. And let it float down. I'm going to take the legs, get those situated, let it just float down as I'm letting the plane just slowly glide down, and I'll put the parachutes on it too. So where I'm going is, I think just a little bit extra right here would help some of the range stuff. May not need it, but if these ever fail, that'll be my backup. Because sometimes these get out of place and they're all together because there's not a perfect orbit. But even if it doesn't help, I'll show you what the basic idea of how I did that one up there, wherever it's at, way up there. So full throttle, and this thing is scraping the ground, but I don't think anybody will notice. As soon as this thing gets a little air, it starts picking up the back end. Yeah, you can barely see it's picking up now. So yeah, we're just going to fly over to here and drop it off. So this is my legs that are folded back. This is my dishes that are folded in. And here's a little basic antenna that comes with everything. It has a range of 500,000 meters. I think that's right. You can only go 500,000 up before it will disconnect. These bigger dishes, they're like 90 million. The other antenna that's the long one, it has like 2.5 million. Okay, we should be fast enough to take off. Yep, there we go. Right now, Jeb is flying, so if this was unmanned, it would be flying with that antenna connecting to mission control. But as soon as I got out of range or out of line of sight, it would not do that. It would just kill the engines, it would turn everything off. But with that antenna being up there on the mountain, it would still be able to connect for a long ways. Or since I have satellites in the sky, it will connect to them. Which whenever I disconnect the antenna and it goes down, hopefully there's one in range. Let's see, yeah, there's going to be two within range to relay the signal back to mission control. So it's going to be boring just flying over there. I don't want to really chance speeding up time. So I'll pause it, and whenever I get over there, I'll show you. Oh, wait, before I go. The new thing. Up here, it would usually say, like, D, and then a number, and it would show this green. Oh, look, see here, popped up science alert. It's saying I haven't done an EVA report here. Okay, EVA flying over this would be very bad right now. Oh, I want this to go away. But okay, this, it will show the D for delay and how many seconds of delay it takes it from here to mission control. So the further out you are, the longer it's going to take. And with this, you can do like prograde, retrograde, radial, anti-radial, normal, anti-normal, and do all kind of stuff. You can kill the rotation, point towards a maneuver node. You can with the Q, you could just make this thing do all kind of stuff. Like go here, turn this way, at this time, fire the engine, at this time turn it off, and point this way, and for like automation stuff. It's not the best, but it's something. But yeah, I'll be back whenever I'm close to the island or the land. Okay, I'm back for a minute to show you something. So I am out of sight of the Kerbal Space Center, which is somewhere right here. But my antenna is up on this mountain, so I am still connected to the antenna. If this was a unmanned probe, I could keep going further and further. Like if I had another one here, I could connect with it, and it could connect with the antenna and all that. But let me show you. So basically, my connection from here to here has got disconnected because I can't see it anymore. But the antenna up on the mountain is still high enough to make contact. Later on, if I get disconnected with the antenna, my satellite will connect with me and then back down here to the Space Center. But I'm still going. It's only been 15 minutes in the game, but it's been a while. Okay, I'm back for a few minutes. I'm still going at 3 times time speed. That's what I can safely do. 4 gets it a little weird. My landing gear is kind of overheating or something. But yeah, I've lost sight of the mountain now. So if this was unmanned, it would just fall straight into the ocean. But since there's a satellite, okay, that. See, the satellite is now connecting up here and connecting down to there. And what will happen whenever this goes out of range, it'll be picked up by the next one, or the next one, and next one. But hopefully if I get one over an antenna over here, it'll also help relieve the stress of all these. Because I'm going to have way more. I'm going to have some way out here. Okay, we're coming back over land now. So I was looking around and I made a mistake. All I have is these 2 dish antennas which are directional. So you have to point them at something. So one's always at mission control, which it doesn't point towards it. And the other one I pointed towards like active vessels. So anything that's active will get picked up. Thing is, I don't have my other antenna that I wanted. This little antenna right here only goes up 500,000 meters. And my satellites are way higher than 500,000. They're like 750 to 800. So if I had that other antenna that I was talking about, the one that's red and white, little pointy one, it would be able to connect with them. But I forgot to put it on here. So what I'm going to do is after I land this thing, I'm going to bring a little probe over here and drop it on the ground and then just basically use it like a little rover and go connect it to this, which I'll just film the last part of it at the end of this video, and that should fix this this whole thing. So what I want to do is come out of time warp and going in time warp, and with this heavy payload really did a number on my fuel, because with the basic same design I was able to go all the way to from the Space Center all the way over here and all the way down on the same fuel. So I'm going to get closer to the ground. I'm going to drop this and the parachutes go at the same time. I'll get the plane leveled off, pop its parachutes, let it just float down. As I'm working on the antenna, I'm going to get it set up where the feet are right and all that. And then I'll recover the plane back to the hangar. So we need to get a little bit lower. I don't want this thing to be floating forever. Don't want to come in too fast and break off legs and stuff. Anywhere will do good around here. Aim for maybe this wide area right here. I really can't turn this thing. It's only good for like one direction. Unless I have a lot of time I can turn this. Okay, we're going down about 32 degrees. So yeah, I really messed up with that antenna. Just gonna take one of those little grabber arms, put it on a little probe, and have it where, with some wheels, I'll land it pretty close, drive it over here, and hopefully the satellites will be in position. And just connect it to one of the legs, and it should work. Okay, since the sea level's 0, this will probably be maybe 200, 300. So I want to be above 7, 8. Let's just be above 1,000. Maybe a little bit more. Let's say 2,000 would be the good number. Oh, and Jeb's just happy. Yay! My little glider was doing pretty good. I was basically making this as a design to put lander cans back here in a row and drop them off one by one in different areas and let scientists gather data. But I never really followed through with it. But it's actually working good as a antenna payload carrier. Oh look, there's another one. No experiments available. Something must have happened right there. Must have been like the shores or something. Okay, let's level off. Again, I'm gonna aim for this area right here. Looks like we're still pretty far up. So I could probably chance 1,500. So having all these antennas out here, I'm gonna have to do like a whole big ring around the planet to make sure I have full coverage. That way I can go to the moon and Minmus very easily. If I go look on the dark side of the moon, I won't be able to connect with mission control, so it'd be kind of like real life. So you'd have to put satellites around it, like on a polar orbit, but then also a equatorial orbit. Okay, we look like we're really good. Oh, Jeb, just having some fun. See if I can time warp a little bit here. See, I'll aim for right here. Kind of looks like that would be the end of the slope. It starts right here. Okay. Time to drop this. So what I'm going to do is drop this. The parachute's going to go. Level this off. Pull its parachutes. Just let it drop. Fix the legs on this. Let it go down. And then change over to this. So here we go. Okay, there it goes. Leveling this off. Cutting the engine. Pulling its parachute. Okay. Now going back to this. Turning SAS off. Opening up the robotics. Legs. Okay, lowering the legs. Okay. Let's see the dish. And there we go. So let's go back over to Jeb, which is in a steep dive. Whoa. Okay, good. The parachutes landed. Hey, I was right. 700 and they would pop. Okay, now we just got to let him land, which I'm pretty sure some of the fins or some of the wings are going to fall off. Let's check on this. Okay, 8.9. I think if it doesn't go over 10, it'll be fine. Hopefully it's level or somewhat level. Okay, don't blow up. Don't blow up. And there we go. Okay, let's check on the glider. It's gliding backwards. It's okay. Let's let it land. And I'll go fix the probe. Oh, we need to have brakes on. What I'm going to do is try to aim forward. Not working really. So yeah, we're going to land pretty hard on the tail. Only one wing broke off. So, okay, Jebediah, just sit there. Now let's go check this out. Okay, I have one connected to the active, uh, one to the active satellite up here. I really can't connect to mission control. So what I need to do is have it connected to active vessel. And there we go. But since I don't have that other antenna, it needs an antenna on it. Oh, but right now, I can raise this. Wait. Just to get a little bit more height. But it's not level. What can I do about that? Well, I can go into here, and here's all of my hinges and stuff. Wait, no. I don't want that. I want to go into here. Now, which ones are these? I can raise these up and I could actually make this thing level. Okay, that's not it. Okay, usually it's opposite. So that one would be that one. No, definitely not. Okay, so it's this one. Wow, it really wants to wiggle a lot. But I got it somewhat more level. But you see, you can level it any way you want to. Okay, so it's pointing towards the active vessel. And then this one is pointing towards that satellite that's going to go out of range pretty soon. So this is going to be dead really quick. Let's recover this vessel. Too long. If it is, it'd just be a big feature. Probe, get it over there, and drive it to the antenna and connect it. So I'll come back whenever I finish that. Okay, so I landed my little rover. It's extremely top heavy. This is the antenna that I was talking about. Yeah, once active, it can pick up anything within 2.5 million meters. So right now, wow, I'm connected to a whole bunch of things. I am actively connected to this satellite back to mission control. And I'm also connected to the antenna and all the other satellites. So let's drive over there a little bit. But first we need to fix this. Let's lower this. Whoa. Let's keep lowering it. Yeah, there's little bugs here and there. Okay, let me fix this real quick. Okay, I'm back. Found out I had a maneuver node, or not, I had kill rotation locked. It was to prevent me from tipping back over right. So my plan is to get the arm going down as I'm going. It's actually backwards. And hopefully I hit this and it connects. So let's arm this thing. Okay. So let's see. I want this to be going down. So I can just click this double green arrow and it'll go down for me as I'm worrying about keeping this thing going backwards. So here we go. And no, it didn't. Okay. Oh, I see why. It's because I'm recording. It's lagging out really badly. Yeah. So give me a second here. I'm gonna pause recording so this thing won't lag out on me. Oh, I crashed it, but I went really fast forward, stopped all of a sudden, and just flipped. Wish I was recording. But I found out why it stopped working a little bit earlier. The battery power was all the way depleted. That's why the arm wasn't going up or down. So now it's actually connected right. So now this should be connecting to everything. Yep, see, now it's connected to mission control from the satellite. So we have one of these aimed at mission control. Or that's the active vessel, that's good. This one's always at satellite. Okay, and this one, let's have it target mission control, even though it's not here. Okay, it's always connecting to everything. So yeah, I probably got a few things wrong here, but I'm gonna work on this. I'm gonna get me like a higher orbit, some satellites in a higher orbit, a a very stationary orbit would be fine. But I need to get some more science, so I need to go actually to back to the moon and back to Minmus to get some science. Actually, I need to go to Minmus to get all the science. I've got a few off of the moon. But I need to redesign a couple of things to get over there easily. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.